If you're looking to make changes in your organization, I'm going to discuss 3 of the most common obstacles you're going to need to overcome. Welcome to the Pollack Peacebuilding YouTube channel, where we provide valuable tips and strategies to create more peace-oriented work cultures. I'm Jeremy Pollack, and in this video, I'm going to discuss 3 critical obstacles to culture change and how to start planning for them. Before we get started, if you're interested in workplace peacebuilding and conflict resolution training, check out our online training academy at peacefulleadersacademy.com. And if you find this video helpful, or you think others would find it helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share with friends or coworkers. So culture change in any organization isn't easy, but if you're wanting to affect systemic change, there are 3 critical forces you need to plan for. The first is getting buy-in from resistors. People in any system who are currently doing well and are comfortable in that system will resist change, and typically that includes people in positions of power and authority. Since the current system is working for them, the prospect of changing the system is going to be a little tough to sell. This applies to culture change in really any system of people, whether it's an organization, a community, a family, or even in society. Any group of people who resist change can make that change more difficult, but especially if they're in positions of power. So you'll need to get their input and buy-in along the way. And that means you'll need to make sure their needs are also being considered and met by the change. This can't be a change in one direction at the expense of a whole group of people, especially if those people are in power. That sort of effort is very unlikely to work, or at least it will take a long time and it's likely not to be sustainable. So instead, you have to consider, what are the resistors concerned about with the change? Which needs of theirs needs to be satisfied if we make changes, and how do we give them some choice or agency in the changes we're making so that they get their needs met while also meeting the needs of the people that want the change? The second major obstacle in culture change is workload. With everything already on people's plates, they typically don't have a ton of extra time or willingness to take on more tasks. But change is going to take some effort and time on everyone's part to implement. In other words, if we're trying to create systemic change in an organization, or a society for that matter, people will likely have to change their behaviors, at least in some minimum way. And change in behavior takes learning, development, mental effort, and sometimes resources. So you'll need to work out exactly how people are going to take the time and effort to make these small changes in redesigning culture, while also considering everything they already have on their plates. So if you're in charge of a change effort, you should start thinking about how to make those behaviors and any sort of learning and development necessary as easy and seamless as possible with their regular day-to-day tasks. In other words, how can several small changes integrate with what they're currently doing rather than putting more on their plates? And the third biggest obstacle to change in a system or organization is the lack of clear change leadership. Lots of companies talk about culture change or improvement, but they never really have a clear owner who takes charge of that change effort. They might create a committee, but again, committees often lose steam because there's no clarity on who exactly is doing what in terms of implementing the changes. So if you're looking for culture change, you really need to find at least 1 or 2 people who are willing to own the change, adding to their current workload in order to do all the things necessary that culture change requires, including data collection and analysis to understand what changes are necessary and why, proposing solutions or change efforts, getting buy-in from everyone who's going to be affected, and then taking action towards measurable progress on those efforts. All of this requires a lot of work, so if it's someone who already has a very intense job, this added workload and mental energy is probably unrealistic. If you're looking for serious culture change, it would probably be a good idea to have someone who's in charge of culture, like a chief culture officer or designated leader, and start taking other tasks off their plate. There you go. These are 3 major obstacles you need to think about. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful in thinking about culture change at your organization. Best of luck creating a positive, productive, and peaceful work environment.